Leslie heard Monica talk about wanting to see Ted before she leaves, so Leslie confronted Monica too, because that's all Leslie does these days is confront people and be a nuisance. What is up, fellow Beyond the Gates viewers, and those of you who are taking a break from the show but still watching reviews? I'm here to review today's Tuesday episode of the show. We're coming off of a really rough episode yesterday. I would go so far as to say that yesterday was one of the worst episodes of this show. Today was better. I mean, not hard to improve on yesterday, but today was better. I mean, I do feel like they tried a little bit to flesh out why Leslie was being such a ridiculous cartoon character yesterday, but they still have quite a long way to go with all of that. Let's start with Shanice and Ted at the hospital and her Aunt Monica coming for lunch. Kyle was then also on today's episode asking Shanice some questions when Monica arrived. And Shanice's Aunt Monica did some flirting with Kyle herself. Kyle was on the phone talking about getting furniture delivered as he is moving into his new place in the area. And then Shanice formally introduced Kyle and Monica. While out, Shanice and Monica talked about Ted, talked about his ex, talked about, his ex-mistress, Leslie, a lot. They also talked about Nicole dating two men, one of which is Ted's ex-best friend or best friend. So Monica is getting all of the tea on the messiness going on, and who better to give that tea than old nosy Shanice, I guess. Meanwhile, while Shanice was out, Ashley was filling in as like a supervising nurse, and one of the nurses made a mistake and missed someone's medication, which pissed off our chief of staff, who we all think might be the impaler, or at least very much involved in that whole plasma thing. She was upset with Ashley today, reprimanded Ashley that if she's going to be the fill-in nurse, she's going to need to get her shit together, basically. Then Eva was today with Ted. She interrupted Shanice and Ted's conversation at the beginning, wanted to talk about her mother because Leslie is out of control, and Leslie has been absolutely absurd lately. Eva ranted to her father about Leslie being hell on wheels and how Leslie seems to be doubling down on Eva and Izaiah getting married, and that Leslie's wedding plans for them seem to be getting bigger and bigger. Eva knows that when her mom fixates on something, it only gets worse, and Eva is hoping that maybe Ted can stop Leslie. They also talked about Eva's relationship with Izaiah and how it seems to be going from casual to more serious, which I guess Ted is happy for Eva if it continues to be serious. Then our resident cartoon Nat, Leslie, was on again today. Today she was bothering Derek. I will say, though, at least Derek bites back at Leslie, so it can be more entertaining. They've kind of turned Derek into a character that seems to only be there to spar with Leslie these days. But Leslie found Derek at Orphe Jeans and gave him shit for not being at work and taking it so easy, even though the clinic's only been open a couple days. Leslie asked him if he needed a mental health day, and he said that's something that Leslie should do, maybe take a whole mental health year. Those were some good lines by Derek today. Derek says that he doesn't answer to Leslie, he answers to Eva. Leslie tried to remind him that she signs his paychecks. And then Leslie was trying to guilt trip Derek that everyone else turned their backs on Derek, but she was the only one willing to give him a chance because she took pity on him. Derek defended himself, saying that not everybody turned their back on him and that she needed him too because she didn't know what she was doing. I still question how Derek knows what he's doing in this situation, going from kind of slow fireman to working, kind of running a clinic. It's a big leap for Derek. Eva later confronted her mother about harassing Derek, but Leslie wiggled out of that like she does with Eva. And then Leslie went to Ted. And so the earlier conversation in this episode was Eva wanting Ted to talk to her mother to get her to back down from the whole idea of her and Izaiah getting married. But Leslie was the one that overtalked Ted today, wanting Ted to fire Eva without telling Eva that it's Leslie's idea, because Leslie really wants Eva working for the free clinic. Ted stood his ground at least and decided he's not going to fire Eva because Leslie's being ridiculous. Ted was asking the questions I think we all want to know. What is wrong with Leslie? Why is she going around causing havoc for Eva all of a sudden, making trouble for Eva? Ted asked her if Leslie's not getting enough attention from her new boyfriend, Marcel, which Leslie played off. Ted called Leslie out on Izaiah being the chief of police's son, and maybe that's why she's pushing for this marriage so fast, because she would have the chief of police looking out for, I guess, Isaiah's mother-in-law if that were to happen. Maybe Elon can do more than Marcel can for Leslie. Then Leslie went into her over-the-top flirting with Ted. Ted told her to stop and that she's crossing a line. That's when Andre walked in and Leslie finally left. And Shanice and her Aunt Monica returned right as Leslie was leaving. Leslie heard Monica talk about wanting to see Ted before she leaves, so Leslie confronted Monica too, because that's all Leslie does these days, is confront people and be a nuisance with no real, she doesn't even cause enough real trouble to be a good villain right now. She kind of just is an annoying individual. Monica stood up for herself and Leslie, saying that if Leslie's going to continue to give her niece a hard time, then she will get twice that she can handle. So just another character upset with Leslie. I mean, the only way this is going somewhere is if we're going the classic route of Leslie's just going to keep pushing buttons until someone decides to try and kill her. We're going to get a whodunit out of Who Shot Leslie or something. That's the only thing that can explain why they have Leslie going around bothering literally almost everybody on this damn show with no real rhyme or reason. I don't know if that's where they're going, but they need to pick a struggle for Leslie and pick a real thing for her to do, or give the character a rest for a while. Let her go to jail for what she did to Laura for a while, because what they're doing with Leslie right now is not working. Kat showed up to talk to Izaiah today about their engagement, basically. Kat approaching Izaiah about Eva and how Eva must have reeled him into an engagement. Kat was wondering why Izaiah proposed already when he barely started dating Eva. Kat was wondering if he knocked Eva up. Izaiah was just confused, so Kat told him that Leslie is already planning a venue for their wedding date. Izaiah thanked Kat for letting him know. He was surprised to learn that Leslie reserved the same things that Chelsea wanted for her wedding, the same venue, the same backup dates. Kat was wondering why Izaiah is so keen on Eva when he sees how crazy Eva's mother is. You know, some of you in the comments before speculated that maybe Izaiah is actually an undercover agent himself, maybe for the FBI, maybe above Jacob and Elon, and maybe that Leslie is someone he could be investigating for something in the past. I think I would like that route. I know Devin in the comments asked me to do some fantasy booking for characters on Sunday, which I will try and do on Sunday. But that's how I would book Izaiah. I think maybe he should be actually working for the FBI, be above Elon in a case, which would be fun for the characters. I'm sure Jacob and his slow-ass self would feel some kind of way too, that his younger brother is in a better position than him. And I think Leslie should be the person that he is investigating, and that's actually why he's loving this relationship with Eva, because it gets him closer to Leslie, which would suck for Eva, but that creates tension for those characters, which I think that couple needs. Anyway, Isaiah told Kat that the reason he is with Eva, despite Leslie being crazy, is that Eva is worth it enough to put up with her crazy mom. Isaiah thinks that Kat should get to know Eva and get rid of her grudge. I don't know if Kat should get to know Eva, but I sure wish Kat could get over her grudge because I am sick of hearing about it every time Kat is on. And I talk about it every time Kat is on because that's what Kat talks about every time Kat is on. Kat warned him to think long and hard if he wants his future to be involved with a family that includes Leslie. I liked Isaiah sticking up for Eva today, though. That is good for their relationship. And then at the end of the episode, Isaiah was telling Eva that Leslie has been going around telling people that they are engaged and that he heard it from Kat, which of course Eva was horrified to hear all of this. That she not only booked a chapel, but was booking the same time and places that Chelsea wanted. So Eva thinks the Duprees probably feel some kind of way about all of this, obviously. Isaiah had a suggestion to not cancel the fake wedding plans yet, because Isaiah is saying that maybe they should let Leslie plan a big party for one night and then give the rest of the dates for to Chelsea for their wedding. This is supposed to be happening next May, I believe. And then they could have Leslie foot the bill for everything. Eva kind of likes the idea, but she says she's a pariah in town and she has no friends. Still kind of hoping Eva and Deanna become friends if Deanna returns from college. But she should sooner rather than later because she was the best part of the show over the past several weeks. But yeah, so I guess they might plan to keep the chapel, saying Isaiah said they have 1 year to make friends and it would also keep Leslie busy. I mean, Isaiah's like the rest of us watching. Leslie needs something to do rather than going around bothering everyone. I don't know if planning a party is exactly riveting, though. The only other thing on today was Dani arriving home frustrated about the whole Leslie situation from yesterday's episode and how Leslie is kind of ruining her daughter's wedding. She found Andre naked getting out of the shower, which turned Dani on. Dani was telling Andre what Leslie did about the wedding thing. Dani wanted Andre naked again so she could feel better, and he obliged and got naked, and they made love, and Andre was comforting her about Anita again. Andre continues to be the best baby face on the show by far. Always there for Dani. A great husband to Dani, quite frankly. At the end, Kat arrived to tell Dani that Isaiah and Eva are not engaged and that Leslie basically just went through all that trouble to ruin Chelsea's plans, but it was just wishful thinking from Leslie that Isaiah and Eva might get married. But it seemed to put Kat and Dani in a better mood about that situation. And with Isaiah's plans for the big party next year, I don't know. It's hard for me to care when I'm more concerned about what's going to happen for May sweeps on this show this year, because they need a good May sweeps. They got to get their shit together. They got to move some storylines along. Storylines need to start going places and stop basically going nowhere. So that's my hopes for this May sweeps. Way too hard for me to think about next May sweeps, which is what this whole wedding planning is about. So today's episode was an improvement on yesterday, but that's not exactly saying much. It had its entertaining parts today, but overall nothing was really accomplished in the grand scheme of things, and the grand storylines on this show that aren't so grand. I don't think a lot was really accomplished today outside of Isaiah becoming a better character and being a good boyfriend to Eva.